Okay, we're friends, right? Many of us have been friends for a long time. Is it okay if I share a little intimate secret with you? There's a part of me that just lives in denial. There's a part of me that refuses to deal with what some people might perceive to be reality. And it doesn't matter how many times people tell me that I'm wrong. If deep down inside my heart I feel that I'm right, then that's what I truly and honestly believe. You would have no idea. I live in Manhattan, I live on the Upper East Side. There are people who have actually told me that Gerald Nadler is my congressman. I'm sorry, but I can't accept that. It just can't possibly be true. Not when New York City has an extraordinary Republican and conservative member of Congress. She might live a little farther away from my apartment than that other, whatever, I forgot his name already, that guy. But it doesn't matter. She represents me, she represents my friends, she represents our values, she represents New York with style and grace and fire and power. Would you welcome Nicole Malliotakis?
Jerry's not only my chairman, but he is my constituent, living in the great borough of Brooklyn. And after my parents, he's probably my most demanding constituent. And I also want to acknowledge Fran Bella-Marone, our Case County. And Father Martin, another wonderful constituent. Full of great people from New York's 11th district in this room. Look, it's great to be here to celebrate the Republican conservative cause. So many in this room have fought for so many years. And of course, Mike Long was somebody who I respected and admired, was also a constituent of mine. And if it were not for Mike Long and Jerry Kassar, the truth is I would have never been elected to office, because it was the Conservative Party that gave me my very first margin of victory when I ran for the New York State Assembly and defeated Democrat Janelle Highsmith. We love and we miss Chairman Long very, very much, and I'm so happy that his family is with us here today to celebrate him and to celebrate our great colleague in Congress, Lisa Honig. We may be a small group in the sense of this big city. There aren't many of us elected under the conservative Republican banner, but we've won some really significant battles together. And just over the last few years, we fought everything from the vaccine mandates to migrant shelters to congestion pricing to stopping non-citizen voting. And oftentimes we've had to go to court to fight those. And we won. And we should be very proud that New York City does have Republican, conservative, elected officials that are willing to step up and shut down these facilities that have wreaked havoc in our communities. But I think one of the most significant victories we've had recently is to stop non-citizen voting here in the city of New York. You think about how egregious the Democrats are. Bill de Blasio, this was his parting gift on the way out the door. It's like, we're going to pass non-citizen voting. Eric Adams didn't have the guts to veto it, allowed it to become law. And immediately, we sued. And we were able to stop it, but we had to go 3 rounds in court. Think about the disrespect of the taxpayers, that the Democrats at City Hall thought it was okay to continue to use your money to go to court to allow people who are not citizens to vote in our elections. But we won not once in the Supreme Court, We won again in the appellate court, and we won the third time in the Court of Appeals. That was significant. It was just as significant as many of the other battles that we face all the time. That was the only Republican elected here in the city of New York on the federal level. One of the most interesting things was when I first got elected, and people said, well, why is it important that we have New York City Republican? You know, New York City, you know, it's a lost cause, it's blue, it doesn't matter. But it was important because in this major media market, we need to have somebody to give the counter view of what AOC and Jerry Nadler and Chuck Schumer were saying. And so CBS had called me and said, will you come on and talk about why Jerry Nadler's new bill to pack the Supreme Court is not a good idea? I said, sure. I'm the daughter of a Cuban refugee, I know exactly why it's a bad idea. This is exactly what Hugo Chavez did in Venezuela. He packed the Supreme Court to 32 justices, and they had 40,000 consecutive cases ruled in he and Maduro's favor, and that is how they destroyed the richest country in South America. That little soundbite became national. My colleagues in Washington, Steve Scalise, started taking that same point, and within a week, Nancy Pelosi said this bill's not coming to the floor for a vote. That's why it's important. And so, you know, today we had 3 members of Congress here. Every single one of us flipped a seat that was Democrat, and we made it a Republican district, and it was because of the Conservative Party. And so, when we talk about the big, beautiful bill, we wouldn't even be having this conversation if it were not for the people in this room. Republicans, the conservatives, that gave us the majority in the House of Representatives. So thank you very much for your hard work and all you're doing to support the Republican and Conservative Party. And I got to go to CNN now to actually defend our point of view. So people always say, why do you do CNN? I'm like, because the people who watch CNN need to hear the truth. They need to, hear our point of view. Thank you for what you do, and never give up the ship. It is so truly important that we continue, and look at Brooklyn, where Jerry and Fran are, as a perfect example. In 2020, I was the only conservative Republican elected in the entire borough of Brooklyn. Yeah. In just 5, this is the good part, you're supposed to scream. In just 5 years, we've been able to increase that number to 7 of us. Yeah. And that is what we're doing throughout the city of New York, winning seats in the Bronx, in Queens. We're going to get something in Manhattan, Jerry. Got a plan? Well, our district attorney, our new district attorney, right? That's what we're going to do. But that's what this is all about. Making sure we have fighters who are out there and willing to speak the truth, willing to educate people about what's truly going on out there, and then winning them to our side because we are right on merit, we're right on the issues. And so thank you for supporting the Conservative Party. God bless you all. God bless